Hi, babes. Welcome back to the show. Okay, so this episode for this week, it is actually a conversation that was had months ago. So that's why I'm preparing us, setting this up. I'm teeing this off. So the conversation is about love, dating, and relationships between me, a gentleman named Todd Dorsey, who you guys have heard before. We did an episode together probably a few weeks ago. Well, we recorded it months ago also, but I aired it a handful of weeks ago. And then it is also with three lovely ladies local to Atlanta, Becca Von Berge, Mary, and then Taylor Peterson as well. So Mary, Becca, and Taylor. And gosh, first of all, I just want to presence the fact that some of these girls are close to 10 years younger than me. And I think it's so wildly fascinating how emotionally aware and intelligent and emotionally just like yeah, emotionally aware, emotionally mature that these girls are. So it's just very fascinating to me because when I was in my 20s, I was nowhere near as self-aware as I feel like some of these women are. And I just wanted to first and foremost say that, kudos to them. And maybe that's the world of social media because we have so much access to different lifestyles now that you just never know who can awaken something inside of you. And you know what? I say that, but honestly, my whole spiritual awakening started because I discovered a guy on Instagram who has also been on the podcast, that was doing things that I had not seen the people that I was hanging out with at the time doing. So it started this whole personal development journey for me. And granted, it was my early 30s, but it doesn't matter if you're 15 or 55. I feel like there may be someone that crosses your path that opens your eyes and awakens you to something different. And that's the whole thing about personal development and the spiritual awakening is that it awakens something inside of you that feels more like home. It feels like, yeah, that feels good. That feels right. And anyway, so let me just tee up this conversation. Like I said, we talk about love, dating, relationships. Each of us share a pretty significant part of our experience when it comes to love, dating, and relationships. Forgiveness, letting go, rejecting the self, redirecting, how rejection leads to redirection, all of that. And I think that is just a beautiful conversation. So I hope that you enjoy it. If you relate, I would love for you to send me a DM. You'll find all of the contact information for everyone that is included in this conversation in the show notes. So if you feel like reaching out to one of the girls, feel like, DMing them directly, that's totally cool. Or even to Todd, that's amazing. We would love to hear the feedback. We would love to see if you resonate or if you don't agree with something that we're saying or have a different perspective that you would like to share with us. We're always so open for that. So, but yeah, let us know. And if you really like this episode, feel free to share it with a friend, family member, stranger, coworker, whoever. And don't forget to download, subscribe, follow, rate, review. We love, love, love. I love when you rate and review the show. It just bumps things up. And I am trying to grow this podcast and I would love to see that happen. And it comes down to you guys. So, yeah, let us know what you think of it. And here you go. Let's dive in.
We don't think it's cancer right now, but we do need to watch this because of your family history. So I went back to Anthony and the doctor was telling me all these things. You need to have kids by 35. Be done. I'm turning 30 next year. That is so much pressure for any woman to hear those words.
Yeah, you guys already have a timeline without someone in a lab coat giving you a timeline.
Literally. And it was so crazy too because I had surgery in college on my left ovary on another tumor and they told me that it was never supposed to come back. So they were worried. It came back and that's why they were worried. So in college, I've been living with the prognosis of you're going to struggle, you're going to have this or that. And those are such paralyzing chains.
It's really heavy.
For so many years, and I've
Yeah.
lived with anxiety, and like it took me getting out of this relationship to like really take a step back and be like, where is this stemming from? Why do I want to be married so badly? Why do I want to have kids so badly? But I'm like, it's like it could be gone in a blink of an eye if I don't do it. So it's like I had to step back and be like, okay, God, I'm letting you have this. I'm laying this at your feet. Whatever your will is for me, I trust in that plan. And like I was talking to you about that too, Todd, because it's like, it's so true. Like my story's already written. So if I'm going to be a wife one day, that's going to happen for me. If I'm going to be a mom one day, that's going to happen for me. And I can't rush it. I can't make that happen for myself. But I think it's also too, like a big learning thing that I learned from this relationship is the right man for me will never make the things that I want feel like too much. Like my hopes, dreams, goals, whatever it is, will never feel like too much for the right guy for me.
Yeah.
And like I'm never gonna make my dreams smaller to fit in someone else's box. And I think that is a huge thing for women. Do not make yourself smaller to fit in to a relationship. Like the right person will match that and be like, that's what I want.
Totally.
That's what I'm excited about. Let's freaking do it together as a partnership. And I don't think my ex was there for me like that. He wasn't prepared. And I wouldn't be okay with being like moving on into like the next step of our relationship, knowing that he wasn't like all in.
Right.
Like I want a man that's like, that's my girl.
Right.
Let's do this. Like I'm on your wavelength. We're gonna get this done. This is gonna be amazing. I'm ready. And that's like what I'm waiting for now.
I love that.
Sometimes it does feel like too much for us.
Yeah. I mean,
Like as a man,
Like it's-
sometimes it does.
I think it's like a provider thing too. If men don't feel like they can provide for a woman, like in that season of life, they like shut down.
Yeah.
So I can only speak to my experience, right? But sometimes it feels like all of your happiness and hopes and dreams hinge on us. And there's something about that where when I've been in a relationship and I can feel the pressure, like for the timeline and like for everything that they want. And it's almost like they want me to fit this role for them. And in a certain way, like they want me to feel a certain type of way. Like that's the expectation. And as a man, it's which I am, identify as male. My experience of you guys is that you rely on us a lot for certainty. And it's like you want that like certainty. And so then my question to you is like, where is the space for uncertainty? Because as a human, you're going to have uncertainty. And so I've had these experiences where the woman has like a full menu of like everything that she wants and like exactly how she wants it. And then all of her upset emotions are on the other side of me expressing anything to the contrary. And so I can't speak for other men, but I can say that like I can feel when that's the expectation and it doesn't make me want to move towards.
Mm-hmm.
Like there isn't a part of that where I'm like, ooh, I can't wait to like give into this space. Now, I like this is only my experience. I can't speak for other men. Like there maybe other guys are like, dude, it doesn't matter. Like this is like whatever. Like you're being a pussy about it. But like that is the way that it has felt. Like I have felt like there's all these expectations. Like you want me to fit in this role. I'm like, okay, what about me just fucking feeling how I want to feel?
And I think that's totally valid. Like as a human being, like you have needs and wants and goals that you want. And I think like that is like a thing that where you sit down with your partner and you're like, okay, how do you need to be loved? Like how do you need to feel love? Like how can I help you? And that was something that like my ex and I like had conversations about. Like there are things that like I need to feel love is like communication. Like communication is huge for me. Like words of affirmation, physical touch is a big thing for me. I think that like when people start to like, you're talking about like the laundry list of things and expectations, like I can understand that in a degree because like men don't want to fail, like especially as a man. Like failure, it's like society holds men to such a high standard of like if you fail, like you suck, like you
Loser.
fail. Yeah, like loser, literally.
Loser.
It's so true, but it's like, and that's like,
What, Mary?
I just don't think that we're holding men to that high of a standard because I'm seeing 45-year-olds who are acting like 20-year-olds sometimes, and it's acceptable. When I see a 50-year-old at the club, it's nothing new.
Right.
Kelly, take it.
But when I see a 35-year-old woman who is single with no kids, what's wrong with her?
Right.
Why is the 50-year-old man at the club popping bottles and spending all his money that way? Fine. And then why is it me, a woman who's trying to make something of herself and hasn't had that stroke of luck yet, that I'm kind of given the title of, why is she single? What's wrong with her?
What's wrong with
yeah.
What is wrong with you?
Not much.
That is what we're here to discuss.
Yeah.
I think it's like also too is like men put a lot of pressure on themselves. Like my ex was an entrepreneur and he was running in a family business, and he didn't want to fail his dad. And I think when it came down to it, like he chose to pursue his career instead of like put his energy into me. And like I wasn't gonna like sit around and wait for him to like want to choose me. Like I want.
Did you think there was space for both, but he was not prioritizing both, like that they both deserved some of the attention?
I think that, I mean, to be honest with you, I think he just stopped dating me. I wasn't getting, he was working till midnight. We weren't even going to bed at the same time. It was like kind of like two ships passing in a night, and we like argued a lot for a month, and we never argued in our like, I'm not kidding you, like we were great. When I say a relationship was amazing, like when people find out or are finding out now that we were broken up, they're like, what? Because everyone was like, this is it. This is it for her. My family is so disappointed. They're all heartbroken over this. Like my sisters were like, that's her brother-in-law. And they're broken. Like it was a lot. But I think he just stopped prioritizing me and dating me. And that was hard because I was just like wanting to be like
Embraced, desired.
Yes.
All those like
100%.
wonderful feelings in a relationship.
100%. And I just didn't feel like I was getting that anymore because like he was so wrapped up in work, which sucked.
And what's funny is the second you're single, you're going to easily find people who want you in a sense.
Right.
Yeah.
But you were choosing him, and then he was almost not seeing how like powerful that was that you were choosing him. He just kind of took it for granted.
Yeah. And
My sister uses that word a lot, like being chosen. Like, I guess it's a thing for you guys.
It's a thing.
yeah.
We want to feel
Taylor.
chosen.
Yeah.
Is that not?
I don't think it has to be ascribed to as much work as it sounds.
Which part?
All of it.
Okay.
I really, and this might be like a little too rose-colored lenses on things, but like my parents were married or are married, have been for like 40 years.
It's amazing.
And I've never seen them fight. I've seen them bicker, but like
They get through it. Like they just like keep going.
they're teammates, they're each other's rock, and at the end of the day, like they have the same goal. They've always had the same goal. And that's what I look for. And if you don't match that, and if at any point like there's some weird wobbling, it's like, okay, well then that's we're not meant to work out because we have different goals and we have different like
You think your parents don't fight?
I've never seen them fight is what I'm saying.
So this
like,
is a something that like I think like sometimes we do a disservice because like you don't get modeled fighting clean, like, and you don't get modeled like real conflict resolution. Because I've dated girls and they're like, well, like my parents never fight. I'm like, yeah, they fucking did.
yeah, for sure.
But
I just
like,
never was a
but then they
witness to
put
it.
that they put that on the relationship. And they're like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, hey, you need to like, let me put it this way: having healthy conflict resolution and knowing how to fight clean is really important.
Yeah, that's huge.
Absolutely.
And women that I have dated that have had parents that they didn't see them fight, don't know how to fight clean.
Yeah, for sure.
And they just go like right below the belt on something where it's just like, oof, like we
I've
could have,
definitely done that.
Yeah, and I'm not
Yes, yeah.
saying I don't want to make you wrong or your
Yeah.
parents wrong in this. It's just something that I've noticed that like I feel like when I have kids, it's important that they see us fight, like and like fight clean, so that they have an expectation of like, okay, this is going to be your partner. You guys are not going to be aligned in everything. Like, you're going to feel differently about security or about money or about what you should do or what you shouldn't do. And I don't know, like, I feel like that's an important part.
I think arguing is 100% like a huge thing. But it's like at the end of the day, it's you and your partner against the issue. It's not you and your partner against each other.
I mean, yeah, but sometimes you guys are, like, I hear you on the shoulder to shoulder. Like, I hear you, like, problems out there and, like, we're not here. But, like, sometimes it's face to face. Sometimes you, like, are not on the same page. Am I wrong?
I mean, with my ex and I, yeah, we weren't on the same page, like, towards the end. Like, we both said, like, hurtful things to each other. Like,
Yeah.
that we didn't recover from.
Yeah.
But it's like, at the end of the day, I was just, like, wanting the attention. Like, I think that's where it, like, built up. I was just like,
You wanted to be
I wanted the attention. I wanted to be chosen. I wanted the date night before we argued. I
I get
wanted
it.
you to follow through.
I get it, yeah.
Right.
And, like, I felt like I was let down. I was just like 2 years and, like, you're still, like,
With a lot.
what are we doing?
Yeah.
What's going on? Like, what's our next step? Like, it was so disappointing for me because I was just like, I just want your time.
Is being chosen important to you?
100%.
Is it the same for you?
I think I think there's just like this really intimate thing about saying, that's my person, we're
Yeah.
here for each other, they're never alone because they have me, and it goes vice versa. I wanted to add something that we were saying about like the respect and like fighting clean.
Yeah.
One thing that my mom kind of like instilled in me, she was like, when somebody is extremely disrespectful, can you really imagine saying, my husband said that to me one day?
Oh,
Can you imagine those words being said to you and then those words being a part of like your child one day? So as soon as I see like something so disrespectful where it kind of makes me question character, it's a easy thing for me to walk away from. Or even a neglect of respect in the sense of like silent treatment. A lot of men will say, I just need time, I need to walk away.
yeah.
But that
Bruh.
leaves me
Okay. But sometimes we do
That's how it
need
was for me.
time to
I was
chill
going
out.
crazy.
And a child time
Sometimes
you
they're
give an
like-
end date.
But
If
like-
you say like, I
right.
need 24 hours. But don't leave me there festering, looking at my phone,
It was days.
waiting.
It was days. for
Waiting
me.
for something
I was
from
like,
you.
this is bullshit. Like, bullshit. Like, I was in my head, like, having panic attacks to, like, where I was, like, a long time ago and, like, self-healing and stuff. And I was like, I'm regressing. Like, I don't want to regress in this relationship. I am wanting something to propel me forward. Like, the things for me are only going to push me forward. Like, that's the energy that I'm accepting, especially going into 30 next year. That is the only energy that I'm allowing around me.
Don't put too much pressure on 30.
Yeah, I was about to say, like a lot of
Yeah, I'm almost 40.
yeah, fucking it's
Okay.
over.
Okay, no, seriously, I don't, it's like a societal thing.
It is.
It is.
I'm not-
and
yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of us
Pressure.
lost 2 years because of, I mean, everybody lost 2 years because of COVID.
COVID.
Yeah.
I know for me, I'm 32 currently. I think of the children thing all the time. And I almost feel like I lost 2 years to find a baby daddy. I should be given my biological clock back somehow, but that's not a reality.
Right.
You should. COVID, where's my biological?
I mean,
Right.
Botox
Like-
gives it back to me. What am I gonna do it for my uterus?
Yes, Botox for the uterus. Yes.
Yeah, it's just crazy though. Like 2 years. Like I don't regret the relationship, and I think that's like because he's a wonderful human being. He just wasn't ready for the things that I was ready for, and that's okay at the end of the day.
Correct.
But I'm not gonna sit here and just wait
Right.
because like maybe the guy that's for me is like waiting on me and praying on me already, and
Right.
like I'm gonna run into him or meet him, and who
Absolutely.
knows, maybe I already have.
Yeah, absolutely.
No
And
clue.
perhaps this guy will get his stuff together, what he needs to prioritize, and you just never know.
Yeah.
But focusing on you
Yeah, that's it. That's where I'm at.
is period end of the story. Like
me and my dog.
whether you're married for 30 years or dating for 3 days, like you have to keep focusing on you, because otherwise that's when you start to lose yourself in that other person.
100%. I'm like, I don't ever want to be there.
I think
Taylor.
it happens quicker for
Yeah.
women too.
Yeah.
I know it just sounds like that's not your vibe.
You were asking like if they
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
be chosen.
Yeah, that just
Like-
did not land for you.
No, not
Okay.
at all. That does not resonate with
Yeah, yeah,
me
yeah.
at all, because I choose myself every day.
Yeah.
And like
That's not a feeling that you've had, or that's not like a.
Okay, I like obviously being in a relationship is tight. Like being in love is cool, and like being in a relationship rocks, whatever. But like being in love rocks. But at the end of the day, like if any moment of like any moment where I'm doubting or I'm not feeling good about myself, and I know that I'm not in the wrong or whatever, like what are we doing? If you're constantly second guessing yourself and how your emotions are, and having to like walk on eggshells,
Yeah, that's
or
stupid.
if you're having
Yeah.
if you're having to like beg to be wanted,
Yeah.
I would rather be single for all of my
100%.
days
Yeah,
and then live in that feeling. So
Yeah.
when I say like I choose myself, like I would
Okay,
much-
but have you been in it? So there's this saying: the way to boil a frog is slowly, right? So like
That's awful.
we will, because otherwise they'll hop out. It actually is a
Oh.
thing. Like they will
Right.
stay in
Kinda
there
like
if
they
you
think it's
slowly
a
turn
jacuzzi
up.
thing.
Yeah. So we'll be in a situation where like it won't be good, right? But like if you came up off the street and you offered that relationship like to you, then you'd be like, hell no. But people are already like in it. So like there's a lot of people I talk to where they kind of like they have a back and forth, or they have it on again, off again, and like if you like wrote down on paper what they're agreeing to, they'd be like, no, but like they're in it, so they're in it.
Mhm.
So my question for you is like, have you been in that? Like I hear
Yeah.
you where you're like,
Yeah.
hey, so it sounds like this is something that you learned.
lived it, learned it. I lived it for almost like 8 years, on and off with the same person.
Okay.
And it was torture.
Okay.
And I mean, in the moment, I was like, no, but I love him. It's great. We're gonna have
Well,
babies.
how old were you?
I met him when I was 15, and we like finally went no contact when I was 25.
Wow.
Okay.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
I gotta say, like the Romeo-Juliet teenager love is like
It's different.
so painful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had one of those. It's so you just feel like your world is like ending.
Mhm.
You know, but like you're not. Like your brain is like really like as a guy, it's definitely not
Yeah.
bored yet. You know what I mean? So you're like, what is
Not
going
bored
on
yet.
my entire life? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And at that age, it's like more than half of your life had already been spent with that person.
hmm
So like you were in one of those, and then it like what happened? Like what?
I met someone else.
How long after?
Or while you were with him?
We were not together, but we were pursuing giving it the old try yet again for the 1,000th time. And then I met someone else. I was like, oh wait, this person is way better. Like makes me feel a lot better.
Right.
Doesn't make me like want to cry all the time. And you know,
But I think that's also like he's giving you what you need because like he chooses you. Like he
Right.
wants you. Like
yeah.
his eyes are for you. His heart is for you. Like he wants the things that you
Yeah.
want. And I think that's like he chooses you, and I think that's a beautiful.
But that's just
You can
language
choose-
that
right.
not like that's just not your language.
Oh yeah, and that other one turned out to be a raging dumpster fire.
Really?
So, yeah. So
Okay.
it's like,
Okay.
you know, it
So where are we now?
Yeah, what's going on now?
Super single. And
Yeah.
obviously,
Chilling.
like I said, I'm open to a relationship.
Yeah.
I put myself out there. I date. I'm on the apps, whatever. But my threshold for bullshit is so small.
I don't know. I thought about you, and then I thought about the fact that you work all the time and then you work the weekends, and like in the back of my mind, I was like, oh, like maybe it's a convenient way to not have to date because you don't have time to.
No, but I don't let that excuse trickle through. I go on dates during the week, and like I'll go to Piedmont Park with my dog
Yeah.
on Saturdays or Sundays. You know,
Dogs.
exactly, but like it's
Okay,
so
what
easy.
rom-com are we modeling right now?
But it's so easy to like shut yourself off and become super hyper independent,
I was curious if that's
Yeah,
what you were
yeah.
doing. Yeah,
and it's not because
not saying.
I want a family.
Yeah.
I want to be a mom. I want to get married. I want all of that good stuff. But
Right.
I mean, I'm not gonna like sacrifice my peace for it.
No, absolutely
Gosh,
not.
yeah, peace is such an amazing thing.
But that's
It
because
really is.
you've done it before, where you sacrificed your peace for a long time,
Yeah.
and
Literally
then you
went
got
into
to a
therapy
breaking
about
point.
Yeah.
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 One session.
You've learned a lot.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I have my qualms. I actually, even though my sister was a therapist, even though I've done a lot of therapy, I don't think it's that effective. Yeah, so like I think a lot
Elaborate.
of
You
heard it here. Mental health is not real. Where's my camera?
Silence was very loud.
I think you end up retelling all of the stories and paradigms and beliefs and perspectives that have already gotten you where you are. And I think that if I talk to someone about their thing in therapy, and they do it for like 2 years, they do it for whatever, it will normally be like 1 or 2 insights that they got. And they were like, these were changing insights. And I'm like, yes. Can we do it much faster? Like, do we have to retell and go through it in order to like pull that lesson out and let it go?
So I have a fun anecdote for you from a friend who is a therapist. She informed me that only 20% of the population is self-aware.
That's true.
Oh,
So
I don't know.
I can see that.
and don't ask me to cite my sources because she's my source.
Yeah. So
But-
no data to back.
No data.
Like,
It comes on Instagram.
Yeah, right?
Is that
I wonder, like, yeah, like,
I'm the source.
yeah.
But
I can see
if you take that into account of only 20% of the population is self-aware, then we assume that a lot of them go into therapy. And a lot of people are not self-aware in therapy. So it's this long, arduous process. I find myself to be very self-aware. It took me a year to realize I was a people pleaser. That should not take a year to come to, but it's through that, like,
It took me one session with my coach. She'll be like, you're a people pleaser. You're
Yeah.
trying to fix shit and you need to cut the shit.
Yeah.
but it sometimes takes like this really long process of like going back to something that happened when you were 5 years old for you to realize like, oh my God, no wait, this is happening all the time and this is why. And so when you realize that not everyone is self-aware, it takes a long time.
I get it. I just think that, so like the old like talk therapy on the couch, right? So this goes back to like Carl Jung and Sigmund Freud, right? And like Sigmund Freud was trying to launch a business. So he was like the father of psychoanalysis, which eventually led into therapy. My source, the internet. So his thing is like he was having trouble launching a business, and so he invented talk therapy for the wives of like some of his business partners. So I have a couple of issues with the model. One, I think talk therapy is really not that male friendly. Like it's already like you got like a bunch of young boys that like don't want to be in the classroom or like fucking struggling. And then we tell them like, well, the way that you solve your emotions is by like talking about it. It's like, yeah, but like not really for guys. Like they might process it different. And then it's just like 60 years old. And I'm not saying like there's that saying like old is gold, but like we've made so many improvements to different modalities. Like you have neurolinguistic programming, you have coaching, you have Sedona method, you've got, Catherine Zucchina, you got, Byron Katie, you got Wayne Dyer, like you have all of these other brilliant teachers that have come along since Sigmund Freud, and it's like, I do think there's value in insights, for sure. I get tired of people like telling the same story, and I'm like, you're retelling the same thing that you've already said a bunch. And if this is a way for you to process the emotion, there's faster ways to process the emotion. There just are. Like we can just go directly into the emotion and feel it. And then we need to let go. Like we need to let go of the story and the perspective that's like created this. And anyways, obviously I love therapy. It's the best, and it's like no, because like a lot of here's my honest feeling on this.
Here we go.
Okay,
I was gonna say.
Stop. Okay, hold on.
Podium.
I know. Sorry. Okay. Last thing, and I want to talk for the rest of the time. Okay. A lot of it is answering the question why. Useless. Like, once you bring the narrative on of like why it happened, it is just a narrative. Like it's a perspective on why it occurred, but like why did it occur? Like cause and effect throughout all time has led to this thing occurring. And it's just, okay. I'll stop.
But why did something happen? My concern isn't why did that happen, it's why did I react to that? So I want to know why did I react in
Like
such
a
a
trigger, like why
did I like get so depressed, or why did I start sobbing all the time, or what's my root problem? I don't care why that happened, because it happened and there's nothing I can do about
Right,
it.
right.
And I can't control the other person. I can't control how other people act. I can only control how I react.
Right.
Yeah.
So what can we do to make that part better?
It's more about managing your emotions for you
Yeah,
than it is
yeah.
about like solving.
Yeah, I can get
rewrite
shit.
I'm
shit.
clearly alone on this. That's fine.
That's you.
I'm
I
fine.
don't give a shit why someone dumps me. That's on you. I need to know why I reacted in such a way
Correct.
when you did.
Right. Having the self-awareness to
Yeah.
know also when a similar situation starts to happen again and you're like, hold on, this feels really familiar. Is it because I'm projecting the past onto this person, or is there something else that may need to be,
Yeah.
looked at
Is
here?
it a me thing?
Because we do attract the energy of, if we keep repeating the same behaviors or we keep attracting the same type of
I get it.
experiences,
I get it. I'm
it's
alone
because
on
we're
this.
not.
Todd, are you good at
No.
are you good at apologizing if you know you're wrong?
What's your first sign?
It's not even. That's not even a difficulty. So like, no, that's not. Short answer, no problem. Like, the balance is harder between my responsibility and their responsibility. So like, there's a saying is like every relationship's 100%, 100%, right? But like, you can also overstep your boundary, and by taking on too much responsibility, you're detracting from theirs. So like, that read is a little bit harder of like how much of this is me taking responsibility, because I'll take responsibility for everything in my life, period, and stop. Like, so, it's me.
And fixing the terminology too. Sometimes it's not, I need an apology from you. It's, I want us to work together to find a resolution. Because
Yeah.
truly, what I want in this outcome is our relationship to
Well,
continue.
clearly her
Yeah.
last other relationship did not apologize enough, right?
No,
Okay.
he did apologize. Like, again, he's an amazing person. Like,
Yeah.
I have no hate against him. I wish him well. I think at the end of the day, he just didn't want the same things as me, and I wasn't going to slow myself down for anybody, and I'm still not going to.
Better
No.
to find out now than later.
Exactly, and that's what
Wait,
everyone.
what?
Better to find out now than later.
Yeah, imagine.
It sucks 2 years, like, it sucks, but imagine 5 years.
But he showed me like how I deserve to be treated. Like, truly, like, he loved me so well. Like, we had so much fun. I've never felt more safe in a relationship. He saw me. I could be completely goofy and like just me all the time. And he like gave me a safe place to like kind of heal from my relationship before too, because man, you might know, I'm not gonna say. And he,
I'm like,
and the guy before my ex, he cheated on me. He was a professional athlete. He cheated on me like
Like a professional.
when I
Like a
did-
professional athlete.
but he's like a great value Tristan Thompson. Like, I'm not kidding you. Like, Walmart brand. Let's just get that straight.
Wait, what's going on? I don't know any of these brands. What?
Great
Like,
value is
Guys,
Walmart.
I'm
Tristan
a
Thompson
fucking dude. I don't know
is
anything.
Khloe Kardashian's baby daddy, and he is
The worst.
categorically
Ever.
the worst person ever.
Sounds like a great guy.
You would
Okay.
love him. And he's like a habitual cheater.
Yeah, like,
Okay.
and like,
Yeah.
she was literally in labor.
Just can't
She
stop
was
cheating.
like literally in labor, and like the tabloids came out that like he was with a girl, like making out with some girl, like
2 nights before.
as she was like pushing out their first child. Yes, crazy. So, yes.
Interesting.
So I'm just saying, like,
Can't
my
speak to it.
ex, my recent ex, we had an amazing relationship. Like, truly, it was amazing. He just when it came down to it, he thought he wanted the same things as me, but he wasn't ready. And I think like the cancer stuff like really scared him too. Which right, that's hard.
Yeah.
That's hard for
Definitely hard,
anybody to
but-
hear.
Like you said before, your partner is not gonna be pressed by that. He's
Yeah.
gonna be excited to,
Exactly.
to pursue you. He's
Yep.
gonna be excited to support you.
Yep, and that's why I'm excited. I've like even like having conversations with like other guys about what I've gone through, and there's just been like a lot of realization of things that I need in a relationship, and like going on dates and I love like the thoughtful things. I don't need like expensive things. I just love like the thoughtful things. Write me a letter. Like write me a note. Bring me flowers. Like I love those things, the little things. I don't think that's too much to ask for in any relationship. I don't think it is.
That's not. I'm not here to decree from on high. Like it's not.
He's like,
I don't
no.
speak for all men. Like, yeah, I get it.
I mean,
No, keep going.
I don't even remember what I was gonna say.
I do have an opinion of this idea though of 2 weeks and 2 years because
Yeah.
Taylor was in a 10-year and met somebody and was able to walk away because excitement was there again.
Yeah, but she,
Right.
but it's not. Okay, to be clear, she didn't get an accurate read in comparing the two people. She just used that as leverage to get out of a situation that sucked. Not in a bad way. I'm saying there was like carrot and stick, and there was like a carrot to pull her into something else, which I mean, like, people do that, not just women. Like, people will be in a bad relationship, and then they'll go, oh, well, like this, and I'm like, okay, yo, you haven't fixed any of the fucking shit. But, like, good to move forward. I'm just saying we'll get in a comparison trap of we will compare the relationship that we just got out of to this person. We're like, well, this person's being so nice. And I'm like, you got to compare them to like the first 2 weeks of the other relationship, because men will get in trouble in the opposite way. And the way that we'll get in trouble is we'll see an attractive girl and we'll compare her to our wife of 10 years. Which one's going to, like, okay, this is brand new, you know? And then it's like, okay, well, if I'm really going to do a comparison, it's like, I should imagine being with that other female for 10 years and then looking at it and then you're like, oh, no fucking chance. Does that make sense at all?
Definitely,
This is
but I
like
think
one
girls-
thing that men use to kind of like pull themselves back when they see someone that's attractive.
Well, and guys also
Are perfect, yes.
in the first
Oh, bro.
month or so put on a
That's my point.
They put on an act and they impress. I've
Courtship
heard
is
it
a
from
thing.
multiple men, guy friends, guys I've done podcasts with. They're like, yeah, absolutely. We totally put on an
I
act, put on a
put
show.
my
All we want to do
worst
is
foot
impress the
forward.
girl. But then a month and a half in, we can't keep it up. And then that's when it starts to like do this. And then the girl gets needy and the girl's
Yeah.
like, why isn't he treating me the same way he was? Like, he was so good to me at the
Oh.
beginning and all this
It's
stuff.
like, oh,
And it's like,
Look,
no.
I
Like,
understand the
you boys
relationship
are known for
failure.
fucking
Yeah.
love bombs.
I'll
Love bomb
agree.
us.
I'll agree because like there's sales and there's marketing, right? And like
Oh,
when,
God.
like no, I'm just gonna say,
Carrots and
hold
sticks,
on,
axe
hold on. Very simple binary brain. What I'm saying is, if your marketing isn't authentic, then you'll run into that on the back end. You know what I mean? So it's like, but it's okay to still have marketing. Like you guys still clean yourselves up. Like you don't look like that like the morning after. Like so, it's like let's not pretend that just one gender. Like it's like come on,
I'm marvelous
dude. Like,
Mrs. Maisel. I look like
you guys present like you look so good, and then after we're together, it's like you're just in bed, you're like fucking sweatpants
Homeless.
stains on it.
100%.
You look homeless, and
Yeah.
you're like, why don't you treat me the same way? I'm like, okay, dude, like don't pretend like it's just me. You know
Drinks
what
like
I
that's when
mean?
we look the best. Hair
Yeah.
tied,
Right.
sweatpants, no makeup
Show 'em with no
on.
makeup on. That's what we
Look, all I'm saying is it goes both ways.
Yep.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Feel like I've made my point.
I think that when a guy is setting up a girl though for like an expectation of a relationship that he has no intention of fulfilling, he is immediately creating a problem for himself. If you want to see somebody and just casually date them, do that. But then don't show up dropping the L word within a month and like, you know, doing all these crazy trips and then
I
tell
take it
her
you've never had that happen.
too many times. But I mean, I'm quick to fall in love with.
Nice deflection. So like it is something where like you what, dude? It's years of therapy. See, this is why
There
we
it
shouldn't
is.
do it. I mean, look, I think that's super
Yeah,
manipulative.
exactly.
What do you mean?
I think it's super manipulative on a person's part to like intend like towards love and like overly do that.
Like love bomb or what?
Yeah, like I don't know what that is, but like I guess.
My ex,
Yeah, they're just
my
they're
ex
love
did
bombs.
Yeah, that to me feels manipulative.
my ex
Yeah.
before my last ex did that to me. Like I was sitting courtside at Hawks games. Like I was getting like he gave me my first pair of Yeezys because he had an Adidas contract. Like I was like getting all these things that I've never had before. And I was like, oh wow.
So
He
when
loves me.
This is cool.
when I've been dating a girl and she's dating another guy who does that, I literally have no worries because I'm like, that won't last. Like, you just
So that
can't
was
keep
the
it
first
up.
time
Yeah,
I've
keep it
ever
up.
been in a situation like that.
It feels
I knew
really
no-
good. I'm
And
sure at
he
the
chased
beginning.
me because I was like, I don't know, no.
Mhm.
And then I was like, he was like, just one dinner. And I was like, all right, one dinner.
Okay.
And then he scooped me out. And then I was just like, dee, 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 like, just going.
Bad experience or no?
I would say, like, the first few months were good.
Okay.
And then
And when did it all go sideways?
when he started to, like, manipulate my trust, and, like, he was traveling for, whoops, I almost just said it. Traveling for his sport.
We'll edit on the back end.
And he was like 100% being sneaky, and like my body like sense, like it's
Yeah.
crazy what a woman's body
Yeah,
picks up.
yeah.
They know. Period.
Okay.
Intuition
We
is
know.
real.
I don't know why you're listening to me.
I'm the only man here, so. Um,
Okay. I'm not the
women-
guy that's wronged all of you, okay?
And this is like also back when like Instagram was showing you like your comments
Oh,
on
yeah,
people's
yeah.
photos where you could see the interactions, and like I was like, you shouldn't be doing this stuff. Like,
Mhm.
and I mean, there were so many times. Like there was one time, he was playing in New York, and he said that he was going to see family out there after, and then he sent me a selfie, and there was a girl in. They're on a boat. There was a girl in the reflection of his sunglasses, and you know me. I zoomed in. I said,
Yes.
Did he say it was his cousin?
If the content
Yes,
is there,
It's
it's
always
always
he
a
a
did.
cousin. It's
He
always a
did.
cousin.
and then after
Is that what
we,
they say?
Yes.
Yeah, after that,
Yeah.
after we broke
Yeah.
up, I found out like there were so many things I found out after the fact that I broke up. But he would lie to me so in depth to make me. I was apologizing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you
He
should.
manipulated me.
Professional
Goodbye.
gaslighter.
Yeah. Oh my god, it was so bad. Like I was on anxiety and depression medicine for the first time in my life. Like he made me believe I was nothing.
Yeah.
And he kept me there.
Yeah.
But then like he would come back and be like, here's some Yeezys, or here's some food. Like he would like be like, let me just like give her something to like make up for it. And then I'd be like, oh, he cares. And then same shit.
Not to be a Debbie Downer, but like, it's cool that you made it out. It's super sad. There are like people that like prey on people who like
Sure.
are kind of broken, you know what I mean? And then
Yeah,
like they
no, it's-
never make it out. Like
it's
it's
so
really
sad.
fucking sad.
So yeah, this is for all the girls that are going through a relationship like that are like completely degraded and gaslit and told that they're nothing, and they're the girls apologizing. Get out.
Yeah.
Because
But
like,
would you have heard that? So like
Yes,
you from
no,
now
because
telling
the-
you them, would you have heard it?
Also, if you feel like something's hinky,
Yes.
something's hinky.
Yes,
and
like,
like
your body
sometimes it
knows.
takes
Okay.
hearing that, but like, wake up,
yes, literally.
something's going on.
Yeah.
And the people in your life who love you are seeing you in your best self. Like, no matter if you feel like a shell of a human being, they're seeing you for everything you are, and they want to protect that person.
For sure.
So when I hear like a friend come to me and say, hey, I know you're excited about this new thing and this guy, and I know you just got this present or this new experience, whatever it might be that's getting me excited, please be careful, because you're somebody I care about, and I don't want to see, they don't want to lose that.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't want to lose their
Man, we're
friend.
making dating sound so terrifying. It's like it's not. It's like treacherous.
It
And it's
does
like,
give somebody a lot of power, though.
Yeah.
what do you mean?
I think like it bonds you to a person, even just like
Yeah.
the little bit of intimacy of they meet your family. There are people in your life who will never get that opportunity. They've seen you naked. There are a lot of people in life who will never get that opportunity, and they can just close their eyes and imagine it. Like they have a closeness to you through your time together. And that does, make you feel like, wow, this person knows so much about me. Why is it that they learned this about me and it still didn't work out? Or what was it that they did learn that scared them away? There's just so many different components of it, especially when you're feeling less than
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah. And
for
I
sure.
I think like that's so true.
I don't feel like you like
facts.
me.
No, it's so true. And I think like also with like relationships like that, it's been like so many years since I've been in that relationship, and like I hope he's great. Like I wish him nothing but like love and light, because like I can't hold on to that stuff anymore. Like that energy is so negative that I'm like, you're just gonna go. You're gonna do you, I'm gonna do me, and like I don't look at his stuff, I don't keep in contact, there's no contact at all. I I don't know. Have you guys ever been in relationships that are like super narcissistic and like you're like, how do you forgive a narcissistic relationship?
You don't have to.
Yeah, you
It
don't.
doesn't have to be. I wish
forgive
you
it.
well.
I'm a firm believer, and it might be because I'm like super
Yeah.
stubborn
Okay,
and
maybe
super
that's
petty.
true. Yeah, maybe that's how I mean,
I wish you what you deserve. Good luck.
yeah, true.
You
I
know?
mean,
Yeah. Good luck.
I don't know.
I
I have been in narcissistic relationships, and like now being 10 years removed from one, and all the healing work that I've gone through, and just whatever personal development and whatnot, and just life
Therapy.
experiences, a little bit of therapy. It's more not that, but it's really understanding. I actually take more. I'm like, I do forgive that person for where they were at in their life and their journey, and obviously we didn't work out for a lot of reasons, but
Right.
I take ownership in knowing, wow, Kelly, you actually weren't in your boundaries. You had very low self-worth. And I'm not to put blame and shame on me. It was just a recognition of I was allowing that relationship to happen. I was accepting
so
these
is that-
behaviors to
That's-
happen.
Yeah.
So I feel like the forgiveness is I forgive myself because I'm taking responsibility for the things that I was accepting and allowing,
Yep.
and not getting out of when all of my friends were like, he's a jackass. He grabbed my ass at the bar last night, and and you're gonna stay with him
Oh,
for 6
gosh,
more months,
yeah.
like things like that. And there was like a situation. I was invited to a wedding, friends of mine from college. Well, I wasn't that close to them, but like
Yeah.
that was nice that they invited me. Day of the wedding,
No way.
do we really have to go to that? And I was like, well, yeah, I mean, we were invited. And
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, but like, how close are you really to them? And I'm like, I mean, you're right. I'm not that close, but it was nice of them to invite me. And he's like, I mean, we should probably just. So I didn't go to the wedding.
Oh my god.
And like years later, I like ran into this couple, and I told them, I was like, I'm so sorry. I was dating an asshat, and that's why I didn't come to your wedding. I was like, I'm really
That
sorry. And they were like,
sucks.
Kelly, we
Toledo.
didn't care, but I don't know. I think just like taking responsibility, you can free yourself, and it creates a lot more peace about how you feel towards that other person as well. Because someone that treats you like total shit, I feel like if you can just forgive and allow yourself to forgive yourself a lot more too, it just creates a lot more peace. And so you're never really thinking like, no, he's a fucking asshole, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, you also take responsibility for your actions in that relationship. You were accepting him to show up like an asshat.
100%. Like I felt like the first time he like rolled me when he was gaslighting me, I was like, looking back on it, I was like, he now has the foundation that he could do that forever.
Mhm.
As
Yeah.
long as I let him.
Right.
It's like the same thing with cheating. Like when some guy cheats on you and he gets away with it the first time,
Mhm.
you think that's gonna stop? He's gonna say like, or
Right.
like, even if you
Doing
do
it.
catch it, that foundation's broken.
Right. Yeah. And he may gaslight you,
Yeah.
call you crazy,
Yeah.
like, oh, he's
Yeah.
still in your head, blah, blah, whatever. Okay, so then it is your responsibility to step into your power
Yeah.
and your boundaries and be like, you're right, I'm out.
Peace. Yeah.
Bye. Like, this
Yeah.
isn't
Accept.
serving me, obviously. Like, for someone to make me feel less than, or that I'm being too much or something like that, like, and they're not open to having a conversation and good, safe, emotional safe conversation with you, then it's
Yeah.
not the relationship you're looking for anyways.
100%.
So just having that awareness of like, okay, what am I looking for? I think your just most recent ex, like you were saying, like it was such an amazing relationship. He showed me what I deserved.
Yeah.
It's like, great, that's the gift he gave you.
Exactly.
That was that could be one of the reasons why you were supposed to be with him, is to show you exactly how you're meant to be treated.
Yeah.
And however else you can be treated in your future relationship.
100%. And like
I love
even
that.
with my ex's like family and stuff, like they're so lovely. I love his family. They're wonderful human beings. Like all of them. So I think like those are things that like I gained. Like I
Yeah.
learned that this is a reality. Like I can have these things. Like I can have a healthy relationship. I can have a family that like I call family, like extended family that I call family. Like those are things that like I want, and those are things that I'm waiting on in my next chapter.
Yeah.
I had a similar experience too, where I was with a narcissist who gaslit me, just treated me really poorly, and I dealt with it. I was in my 20s. I was really excited. I mean, I still remember this, he asked me to be his girlfriend. I was like, people at our age, they usually get married if they're boyfriend, girlfriend. Like, that's where my mindset was, which is a wild concept, but I mean, I was young and I was just being as honest and open as I could with him, so I thought I was getting that in return. That relationship ends. I end up in another relationship with somebody who treated me fabulously, really made me feel like, oh my gosh, you are just, that didn't work out, but I still wish him the best.
Mhm.
And I think there's a huge respect that I still have for him. Years later, he's getting engaged, he has a whole life coming up. I say congratulations to him and his fiance. I like their pictures because I saw that this was a good man
Right.
who knew how to love, and it just wasn't us.
Right.
But he gave me an experience that set me
I
up
love that.
to bring me
That's-
closer to what's next.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Absolutely.
Like that's like such facts, and like that's what I think about my ex too. Is like sometimes it just doesn't work out, and
Yeah.
that is okay. Like
okay.
sometimes, like he's a wonderful person. Like I have like, I'm not saying I'm wonderful, but
You are wonderful.
I like there are things that I want, and I hope the best for him. But I love that because it's easy to like hate an ex. It's easy to be like, I'm never gonna talk to him, never gonna. But it's like moving on when there's like, there wasn't like a bad, it wasn't like a
It wasn't treacherous.
right,
You know,
exactly,
it was just,
yeah,
it fizzled in
Wasn't
some
it?
way.
Yeah.
And you said, like, I, can forgive myself and be self aware. I said earlier, I think that I hope you get what you did, like, what you give to the world comes back to you. And I mean that in the most literal way. Like, if you throw trash on the street, I hope trash is showing up in your bed tomorrow. Like,
Literally.
that's what you put out in the world, and that's what you should get back. But if you're out there doing beautiful things, I hope that comes to you, and whatever it is.
and it's like too if like you're a person that has so much love and light, and you've had your heart broken, like don't stop putting that love and light into the universe because like it will come back to you.
Mm-hmm.
And like what we were talking about energies, like you attract like what you put out.
Mm-hmm.
Positivity, light, like spirit, like all of it. I think it's like huge.
I saw this creator on TikTok, and she was talking about how if you knew your yes was 2 no's away, you would be thanking God for every no.
Right.
So it makes you almost anticipatory of like the next no, because you know you're that one extra closer to your yes.
Totally.
So it's like with every dumpster fire relationship or with that whatever thing that goes wrong, it's like cool, on to the next one, because now I'm one step closer to the yes.
Yeah.
You
Oh, I
just
love
take it off
that.
the chin.
It makes me so excited.
yeah, you're one
Yeah.
step
Like,
closer.
I'm literally coming into like a huge chapter, like a breakthrough chapter, I think, for me, like in my life. Like I'm just claiming that going into 30, and like I've had this year has been like anxiety overload because 30 has been like, when are you getting married? When are you having kids? When are you doing this? And I'm like, I am like my friends and I, we do like every birthday, we pick a word that we like manifest over. And my word was present this year, like to be present. And I did the worst job ever. I was not present. Like,
Great job.
it's, I failed. Big F, like failed. So I think I might maybe
Take it into next
take it-
year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because like I'm changing my mindset. Like I'm feeling like a weight lifted off. Like the chains, like they're not holding me anymore. Like if I'm meant to be a wife, I will be. If I'm meant to be a mom, I will be. Like I am not. I can't. If 35 comes around, and I'm still not either of those. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's, like it.
Gotta surrender.
100% timeline is totally
Surrender.
different. Like,
Yeah.
I know there are lots of people that I watched in college get married and engaged, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, it's happening so quick for them, and then I kept seeing it happening in my 20s. Now I'm seeing some of those divorced.
Yep.
That's not, and
So
that's not the end of their story either.
Right. That's not.
So it's just, everyone's, and if I'm truthful and honest with myself, I don't know that I would be the type of person that would be better after that kind of hardship. I wouldn't, I hope that like whatever I bring into the next relationship is something that's going to be a foundation that survives.
For like
Everything.
ever. Yeah.
And that's why I'm like so crazy with even like, oh, the second that there's something that he says to me that I wouldn't be okay with being told to my daughter, or I wouldn't think that I could ever say, my husband said this to me, I'm walking away. And my relationships are getting shorter and shorter.
But that's great. 'Cause I did, but it's like your boundary for yourself and like what you're not going to settle for. And I love that though, because like that's a strong woman. Like somebody who again knows what she wants, and like the right person is going to match that and like give you what you need.
And some people,
And that's
somebody can look right on paper. They can look good. They can have the right age. They can have the right job. They can, live in a little suburb where I could just pop right in and start that life. But that doesn't mean that just the paper is going to make everything correct.
Right.
It's so much more, I think, of somebody like truly a man's character and what he wants in a relationship. Because I believe that a lot of women are going and dating with better intentions, I would say, with men than men. Because a lot of guys are like, oh, well, how long until I'm getting into bed? Or how long
I agree.
until. They're just kind of like playing the role, and they're not. I'll say they're not going into it with the full intention, this could possibly be my wife one day. Where if I'm saying yes to a date, there were lots of other suitors that I said no to before I really, looked at the details of why this person deserved the opportunity.
Right. I like that.
What? Say it.
I mean, whenever you characterize the opposite sex in a certain way, it's like you're already not on the same team. So like anytime I have friends, if they'll like say something about like women writ large, I'm like, these are your potential partners. So like if you want to be the same team, so like okay, the sex drive thing, like you can go that route and be like, well then men are this way, and it's like, okay, but every relationship was basically started by a man. Like we're the ones that do the pursuing. So it's like in a certain way, we are the catalyst. So one way to think about it is like every great relationship in my life will be downstream of a man's sex drive. It's harder to demonize it when you go every family that started, every relationship that started, bears desire from a man that starts. I'm not saying that it's everything in the alpha and omega. I'm just saying like I hear a lot of girls and they'll make it wrong.
But I think it boils down to the intention. That's what she's talking about. The intention behind the sex drive. That sex drive is sex drive. That's nature.
Yeah.
But
I
the
want them to be
intention-
attracted to me. I want them to want to have
the
sex with me.
intention behind it. Is this
Literally.
for 12 hours or is this for 12 years or is this for 12
Yeah,
months?
but there are a lot of men that are interested and they're not necessarily thinking long term, and then it goes in that direction. Like they're like, I hear what you're saying, which is women will date with intent, and we would like men to do the same thing. And
Or just be honest.
okay, hold on, one thing at a time. Don't move the chains. Don't move the chains. Let's stay in the pocket on the
Yeah,
first thing, and then I'm more than happy to go to the second one.
Yeah.
Okay. So, where was I? I get thrown off so easy. I'm a
Sorry.
fucking squirrel brain. What were we arguing about? I feel like I was right. So we can just-
no, today mess up your train of thought.
No, like I don't remember, but I was
The
right.
intention.
So.
Wait,
Can I give you
Well, the
an
intention.
example of something
What
I
do you
just
mean, like-
recently
Oh,
experienced?
okay,
with
hold on.
intention?
Now I remember. One second, and then
Yes.
we'll just forget
Small
it.
brain.
Okay.
Forget it.
Tiny brain. You guys have a timeline. Makes sense that you have more intent on that side of the house than we do. And it makes sense on the sex side that men will have more intent, right? So it's like you're expecting the intent that you bring as a female, the want for a relationship to be equal to the man's want for a relationship, right? Because you're saying he should date with the same intent.
There should be open communication about each other's intent coming into whatever interaction.
I think you hit it on the other one, which is honesty. So it's not actually that they're not dating with intent,
Yeah, just
it's
be
that they're not
honest.
being honest.
Yeah, if you're
Because-
just trying to fuck, cool. Rock on.
Okay, will that ever work though? You know what I mean? Like,
Yes, if you're honest, don't pull this shit like, I could see us, blah, 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 blah.
okay, again, like that one, yeah, that's super manipulative. I agree. But like,
even
when,
if it's a 1 month fling and you want it to be a 1 month fling, I'd rather you tell me that straight up from day one than like prolonging it and just making it this drawn out.
I agree. I tell every woman I'm
Right.
completely worthless and will not fulfill anything that will satisfy you. No.
What?
But when
We
feelings
touched on this a
change,
little
have
bit.
that conversation.
Yeah.
Like
What?
we all saw the Twitter feed, right? Where it was like, oh, when did you stop liking your girlfriend? Did everyone see that? Where it was
No.
like, oh,
What's
I
up?
knew I stopped liking my girlfriend when I was doing this or that.
Yeah.
There were just like different examples. And it's men saying that they started to treat women badly so that the women would go crazy and leave.
Yeah.
And I mean, this was like a huge thing that was on, I mean, millions and millions of responses of men saying, this is what I did to get my girl to break up with me. honesty is so important. Let's have that conversation. Your feelings change. Is there something that I did that changed those feelings,
Right.
or this relationship is no longer on the track that we discussed?
So I
Right,
agree, and I'm also conflicted. So I agree with what you're saying. The difficulty is sometimes, which, like, for sure, they should just fucking have the conversation with their girl. Like, agreed. Like, you don't need to fucking gaslight her and treat her like shit to leave. You can just say, hey, this isn't working. Agreed. One of the things that I find really interesting is when people make it okay to be straight up. So, like, a lot of times, if I want someone to be honest with me, I need to incentivize the honesty. And one of the ways I'll do it is I will remove all of the want and all of the need. And I'll be like, I legit want what's best for you. Like, I want what you want. So, like, it's all good. Not going to be upset. Like, what do you want? Like, what's going on here?
How
Like,
is this relationship-
I'll try to remove everything on the other side that would make that person not want to tell me.
Okay, so you're trying to create a safe place.
Yeah, safe
Say,
space
yeah,
for them
because
to just
what
talk.
like when sometimes when men go to talk to like, we do not like it when you guys cry.
I cry.
And then
Oh,
you guys
God,
cry
I'm a crier.
I'm
the
a crier
whole
too.
time, and then you're like, I wish he would be more honest, and I'm like, okay, but you understand that it's very emotionally painful for him to be honest with you when all of your negative feelings are stacked on the other side of him being honest. Perhaps if you took some time to try to clear some of that and create a space for him, okay, you totally agree. I can tell by the look on your face. You absolutely agree. I'm saying that if someone's not being honest with me, for sure, there are people who are just fucking pieces of shit who are just not going to be honest. But there's a bell curve, standard distribution, like, that's the long tail. So, like, the middle of the fucking bell curve is just going to be normal people. And so I'm like, what am I doing to help create a space where they're going to be honest? It's the same thing, like, I run a team with employees. It's like, if I'm like, oh, did you do this? It's like, I'm not going to get a fucking straight answer. If I'm like, hey, at the end of the day, it stops with me because I'm the person leading this team. So, like, you telling me straight up what did and didn't work, even if you think it's going to hurt my feelings, it's like you're better off just, like, laying into me on it. Now I know I'm going to be able to get that person to be more honest with me. Does that make sense? You're nodding, but I can't tell.
No, it makes perfect sense. I just don't agree.
Okay.
I don't agree with the emotional aspect of it and like saving. You were talking about like saving heartache because someone's clearly like upset with you talking about something and getting emotional talking about something.
Wait, what?
You had mentioned like
It's hard for you to watch someone cry.
Cry.
so like
I'm
it's hard
saying,
to.
I'm saying that we can feel however we want, and we can totally disagree on it. I'm saying that I have found success in life by making it comfortable and okay for the person to tell me the things that they don't want to tell me. Because what we're talking about are times when men didn't tell you whatever hard truth it was. And for me, I'm like, if I think that that's what's true, then I'm going to set it up so that you feel very comfortable saying it.
I'm still
So
gonna
that I
cry.
can, I mean, fine.
I love a good
I'm
cry.
fine.
I'm still gonna cry when I'm
Sometimes
telling
I
you
like
that
to
this
cry.
hurt
Yeah,
my
I
feelings.
love a healthy cry.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
You don't operate that way.
No, I think I have like a touch of the tism because I just will always speak honestly and
Yeah. So you might be an outlier. Like your
Yeah.
temperament might be different.
I don't understand people who don't do that because that's happened to me before where I was crying about something but I was like, hey, listen, like if this isn't working, let's just call it quits now because I'm feeling an energy shift or whatever, you're being weird. Let's cut it off. Let's be done because I'd rather do that now than feel like shit for the next foreseeable future.
So I agree. So like if I make it safe, if someone operates like you, they're going to tell me either way. So that one's already done and dusted.
Yeah.
I really only have to worry about the people who don't operate that way, right?
Yeah.
The people who are going to feel that way. So by me kind of like having this like, I don't want to say standard operating procedure, but like me having this approach just across the board will get me honesty. Because I hear you, it's really nice that people can just be direct. But now I am reliant on the other human to have that quality.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm kind of controlling for like the lowest common denominator here of
Yeah.
like, just make it okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it might happen to you at work. Like, do your bosses ever do something that you're like, this is fucking stupid and we shouldn't do it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So they're missing that feedback, but you don't feel comfortable necessarily telling them that.
I mean,
Sometimes maybe you do, but like,
yeah, it gets me in trouble,
but
but like, I'd
this is a
rather-
good use case like for it versus the relationship one where it's like if you don't make it comfortable for the people to like tell you straight up, then you're gonna be missing out on all the feedback.